Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Lovin Dubai show. And as always, we bring you the top and most trending news in the UAE. And our top story for today is the UAE leaders mourn the passing of Pope Francis.
Later, we're going to be talking about only Emiratis can wear national dress or use the dialect in media.
And Georgina Rodríguez was spotted enjoying a weekend in Abu Dhabi.
And Raves have officially made it to Dubai barbershops.
And later on the show, we're going to be joined by Marisa, the best-selling author of I Am Enough and a celebrity therapist. And in today's rapid weather report, it's mostly sunny with temperatures ranging from 26 to 36 Celsius. By the way, last weekend it was good weather.
It was. We were talking about that yesterday. I think it's going to start getting a little bit higher now. It's not as windy as it was before, but good weather recently. Thank God. He just did that. Okay.
So, do you guys think this is passive-aggressive? Do you think this is passive-aggressive? Like, you just told me that it's windy outside.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Did you get offended by my reaction?
It's a little bit like, okay, yeah, like moving on, yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
That's basically the vibe I get from it. So we were just talking about that before we started the show today. We were talking about how like emojis can be perceived as passive-aggressive, especially the thumbs up. So that's basically what we're talking about this morning. So do you guys think it's passive-aggressive or not?
I will be very honest. I think if I'm having a conversation, especially if it's like a heated conversation with someone through texting and they send me a thumbs up.
Oh.
No, this will spark I will get so pissed. I will get so heated. I will tell you, I will lash out on this person.
It makes me feel peeved as well. It's just a little bit like, I'm sorry, did you not like what I said? So you're thumbsing me up? Like, that's so rude.
Why are you thumbsing me up? Like, are you trying to end a conversation? Is this a way to end a conversation? Or if you know the message reaction?
You don't like message reactions?
Thumbs up.
Oh, the thumbs up one. Okay, because I message react a lot, but I don't do it if it's a thumbs up. Oh, well, unless I want to show the person that I am peeved about something that they said, okay, in that moment, I will thumbs it up.
I will be very honest. I'm guilty of using that emoji to seem passive-aggressive. Like,
exactly.
if what you send is so outrageous that I don't want to reply to it, I want to show you that I'm pissed. I'm like,
but I have to be honest, if it's like for work-related stuff and I use the thumbs up,
oh, that's different.
That's normal.
That's completely different.
That's like, not passive-aggressive. If you tell me, Farah, can you please do this or whatever for work, and I thumbs it up, it means, yeah, I'll get to it. It doesn't mean, I'll get to it.
Yeah, I think in a working setting, because you can't really use any other emoji. Like, imagine using
we're very limited with the amount of emojis we can use on like the work chat thingy, right? Okay, so I use the thumbs up in that aspect. And that doesn't mean that I'm being passive-aggressive at all. That means, yes, I will get it done.
Yeah, I don't think, in a work setting, like every time someone sends me a thumbs up, I don't get offended. It's just if it's through texting or if it's face-to-face.
Oh my God.
No one really does it face-to-face. It's just through texting. Like,
yeah. No, but if you do it through texting, you're trying to say something to me.
Even if it was like a normal conversation, if someone sends me this, are you pissed?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're pissed.
Yeah, you're pissed. Like, what are you trying to say?
Oh, someone sent a thumbs up emoji.
Okay, great. Thanks. We're off to a great start.
Good morning from India. Good morning from the US. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll move on to our top story for today. UAE leaders mourn the passing of Pope Francis. So UAE leaders have extended their heartfelt condolences following the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis. In a message shared on X, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed expressed his sympathy to Catholics worldwide, writing, "I extend my deepest condolences to Catholics around the world on the passing of Pope Francis, who dedicated his life to promoting the principles of peaceful coexistence and understanding. May he rest in peace."
Yeah, and additionally, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, also paid tribute to the Pope, posting, "We are deeply saddened to hear of the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis, a great leader whose compassion and commitment to peace touched countless lives. His legacy of humility and interfaith unity will continue to inspire many communities around the world."
The UAE has long championed interfaith harmony, and the passing of Pope Francis is being felt deeply across the region. May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Moving on to the next story of today.
This one's an interesting one, and it received a lot of comments online. So basically, only only Emiratis can wear national dress or use dialect in media. The Federal National Council discussed ways to strengthen the role of government media and later announced the ban of national clothing and dialect use. So the national dress can only be worn by Emirati citizens in advertisements, and only Emirati citizens are permitted to speak the local dialect on media channels.
Sheikh Abdullah Al-Hamid, chairman of the National Media Office, clarified the ban further on his Twitter, saying the policy has implemented in response to increasing instances of misrepresentation of the Emirati dialect and cultural symbols, particularly in advertising.
So this has nothing to do with movies, so you guys can rest easy. If you need to dress as a local for a movie or something like that, that's completely fine.
Different.
It's about advertising, misinterpretation, and stuff like that. So they don't want to misinterpret like
the
locals
culture
and cultures, because it can be misinterpreted and stuff like that. So they're trying to avoid that as much as possible and preserving the cultural heritage as much as possible as well. So that's where the use of the dialect can maybe it won't be as accurate, right? If you're not from here.
Exactly.
Same thing with the national dress.
I do understand why this law is being implemented, because especially on social media, we see a lot of people dressing as Emiratis and really misrepresenting the culture, or actually making fun of the culture.
Oh yeah, that
and it can harm like the Arabs and Muslims altogether.
Exactly.
Because it's misinterpretation and it's poking fun at the culture, and the least that we can do is gratitude and respect for the leaders and the culture of this country for offering us such a really nice and peaceful, amazing country, that we have accessibility to everything, we have safety, we have opportunities. So the least that we can do is respect the culture, and not using it in media. I totally understand why this law is being implemented. But in terms of movies, I think because you need to get licensed first, and you need to a media licensing first before you publish anything. So that's why it's accepted. But in advertising, I think just it's really important to stick to that.
And plus, like, you can always like if it's about advertising and stuff like that, you can always hire locals. I mean,
you can always hire locals.
Hire local actors. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you get someone who's not from the country to act like they're from the country? You don't need to do that.
There are a lot of local talents, by the way. Like, we need to nurture those local talents as well.
The whole point is just to avoid misinterpretation of the culture and all that stuff. So it's just an act of trying to be respectful.
It's really important to maintain that as well.
100%.
Moving on to our next story. This is my favorite because I've always wanted Georgina to come visit UAE, and she was spotted enjoying a weekend in Abu Dhabi.
Cute.
So Georgina Rodríguez, partner of Cristiano Ronaldo, spent a peaceful weekend in Abu Dhabi, taking in the beautiful, iconic Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque with her loved ones.
She dressed gracefully in a traditional abaya as she shared a series of stunning photos of her visit on social media, capturing both the elegance of the mosque and the calm vibe of her getaway.
I can't believe it, by the way. I feel like my dreams are coming true. I'm sure she visited it before, but every time... Georgina, I really want to meet her. I really want to meet this woman.
She's quite the character, honestly.
She is.
Like, you definitely want to meet someone like her. But honestly, it was so nice to see, like, her getaway, her traditional take on abayas and stuff like that, and wearing it to the Grand Mosque. Obviously, that's extremely respectful as well. Like, I feel like a lot of tourists go not knowing what to wear.
Exactly.
But she nailed it, and she looked great.
And she looked really good. Look at her pictures.
I know.
She looks good in everything. This woman, like, put her
so
in
true.
anything, and she looks good in everything.
And she doesn't look like she's trying.
Yes, she's not. No, she's effortlessly.
Effortlessly. That's what I'm thinking. She doesn't look like she's trying too hard. It looks like it's a normal day for her.
And I'm glad she's respecting the culture as well. But if Georgina Rodríguez came to you and said, I am coming to spend a weekend in the UAE, where would you tell her to go? I
wouldn't even have guessed that she wanted to go see the Grand Mosque, but of course she does. Like, honestly, it's such a stunning place.
You have to visit the Grand Mosque.
I
think you have to check it out for your bucket list.
Like, anywhere she goes, she's going to like have a herd of people trying to get pictures and stuff like that. So I can't imagine where she would go and she would get some peace. But obviously, she picked the right location.
The Sheikh Zayed Mosque is definitely something that you should check.
Yeah.
From your check out your bucket list.
I would have said Global Village, but she would.
No, people would freak. She wouldn't be able to walk.
Yeah, I don't think she would be able to make it past the gates.
Okay, where would I tell her to go?
It has to be somewhere that's like,
I would tell her Hatta.
oh, yeah.
She has to have like a day to spend at Hatta. I would tell her to go to the old souk, maybe.
Oh my God, yeah, it's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I think it's nice to look at that culture, the cultural side of UAE, the cultural side of Dubai. It's really nice. I love that area, by the way, and it's always so calm.
It is so pretty, honestly. Maybe like a rack getaway or something. That's
A
cute.
rat getaway, yeah. Lots of nice hotels.
Oh my God,
like in
so
the
many.
desert.
Oh my God. Yeah. Stargazing.
There's a
that's
lot to
thing.
do, by the way. I don't think one weekend is enough.
No, it's
She needs to
not.
come visit again, and maybe she should pass by the Lovin Dubai show.
We're just putting it out there. We're manifesting.
Please come to our office. Please, Georgina.
Speaking of manifesting, we're talking about raves next. Maybe you want to have one in the office. So raves have officially made it to Dubai barbershops. First, we had coffee raves, espresso-fueled dance parties where people traded your average shots for oat milk lattes, and now barbershop raves are a thing. While you're getting that skin fade or beard trim, there's a full-on rave happening around you. We're talking lights, beats, and clippers in sync.
Only in Dubai can you leave a barbershop with a fresh fade and a cardio workout from dancing in the chair. Not really sure what's next, but it's interesting to see for sure.
I mean,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
something else. Like when I started seeing coffee raves, I was like, okay, this is a little bit interesting. But then barbershops ones happened.
Listen, the matcha raves, the coffee raves, I understood them, okay? Sometimes you just want to, like, you want to dance, you want to listen to good music without having to get drunk or to have drinks.
Yeah.
But barbershops?
I know. It's very, very interesting to see. Like, I think this was maybe the first of its kind.
It is the first of its kind.
And the comments were also really raving when they saw this. Speaking of raving, they were also raving about this when they saw this on our story, on our post yesterday.
What are the people's comments? I want to know people's reactions. Like,
They
I
were
don't know
just
what to
really
say.
hyping up the people that organized it. They were like, "Oh my God, this is
That's fun.
amazing" and stuff like that. Honestly, great job.
If you
I
have-
never would have guessed.
If you had to go to that barbershop, do you have to get like a treatment there first, or can you just walk in and enjoy the rave?
I would assume no, because I can see women.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can see women in the video.
Yeah, no, I can see women there. So I guess if you want to take your partner, brother, or something like that to a barber shop, have them sit in the chair, get
While they
their thing
dance?
done, and you're just gonna like, woo.
Woo! You know, but I'm thinking about it. Like, let's say it was vice versa. What if it's a women's only salon? Okay, would I want to have a rave while I'm getting my treatments? Let's say I'm doing manicures. I feel like when I go to the salon, I want
You want to relax.
This is it. Yeah, exactly. It's my relaxing time.
Maybe if they have like a specific timing.
Yeah, like after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and I need to focus on every detail because it's really important. I'm always, especially if I'm doing my eyebrows, I'm always so stressed. Imagine if there was a rave happening next to me and I would be so distracted with the music.
I know.
And the person giving me that treatment maybe would be so distracted at dancing. Would they be able to give me a good treatment, or would be?
They're going to be a little distracted.
They would be a little bit distracted.
Have you ever been to a coffee rave in Dubai?
No, but it's interesting.
It looks so good.
Would you go to a coffee rave?
Okay, so here's the thing. I might be Gen Z and all that stuff, or like just the beginning of Gen Z, but I am just not a fan of like loud music.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes no, especially when I don't know.
It's not even
With
a Gen
coffee?
Z thing, but I just want to enjoy my coffee.
You know, listen, I saw a matcha rave and a coffee rave. For coffee, I wouldn't go for a coffee rave, but
It seems like it would hype you up anyway.
yes, because if
I
you
like
get
that idea.
Exactly, if you get an espresso shot, you already feel super energetic.
You're already gonna feel energetic. Exactly. You're gonna feel like, oh yeah, I can take on the world now. Yes, but the thing is, oh, you know what? You're gonna have your coffee, enjoy the rave and everything, and then after that, just
It's in the
thing
middle of
coffee.
It's in the listen, I think matcha raves because when I drink matcha, because of the high sugar, super energetic and I'm so happy. I don't know why matcha gives me like such an adrenaline rush and
That's
like
so cute.
dopamine for some reason. Matcha really gives me dopamine and I
It
feel
makes you
so
happy.
It makes me so happy. So I would go to a matcha rave, but I wouldn't go to a coffee rave.
I don't know what it is, but like I'm not a matcha person.
Or actually, I wouldn't go to either.
Okay, I mean, honestly, it's not my thing either. So, like, let's see.
Oh my God. So, speaking of raves, I think we're gonna move on to a little bit of a calmer tone because
Yes.
after this very short break, we're going to be joined by the amazing Marisa Peer. We'll be talking about overcoming self-doubt, unlocking confidence, and why I am enough might be the most important thing you'll ever tell yourself. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Marisa Peer, the best-selling author of I Am Enough. She has spent over 30 years helping people from everyday individuals to celebrities overcoming self-doubt. Creator of rapid transformation therapy, she's here to remind us of one powerful truth. You are enough. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I just want to start off the conversation by asking you, why Dubai? Why did you move to Dubai?
Well, I was living in Los Angeles, and I've always wanted to work with the first-generation children. I think every therapist should want to put themselves out of business, and I wanted to get my program in the school system. And Dubai was very welcoming. They sort of welcomed me with open arms. There's not the red tape that I found in America. And so I came here, put my program in the school system here, started to work with very young children, because, of course, the I'm Enough message is so important to them. But I love Dubai. It has everything LA has, but I found it safer, more welcoming. I find for business you can really do so well here, but my dream was always to work with children, and Dubai made that very easy for me.
So can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Why did you decide to pursue psychology? Why did you decide to pursue therapy?
My father was a very eminent head teacher, and I saw the difference he made. So I always wanted to go into a career where you can make a difference. I think if you have a job where you make a difference, you never really feel like you're working. It's very important to find something you love, love what you do and do what you love. So I always was going to follow him, but I realized that therapy is really important, but I wanted to really impact more people, so I wrote books and teach all over the world and created my own method because, you know, there's, I think every 8th person is suffering with depression and anxiety, and they just can't find a fast cure. Nobody wants to go to therapy every Wednesday for 5 years. I always thought therapy should be like going to the emergency room. If you go to the doctor and say, hey, I've hurt my arm, they make you better. I wanted a method that was like going to the doctors. We can turn up and say, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm unhappy, I have tension, headaches, so I can't find love. And I wanted a method that said, let me fix you today. That's why I created RTT.
Can you tell us what is RTT for people that don't know?
Yeah, RTT means Rapid Transformational Therapy. People think therapy is long and painful and there's no end in sight. And it shouldn't be. Therapy should be rapid and it should transform you from this first session. So I created a method that's very different because what it does is it finds the pattern, understands the pattern, and changes it all in one session. So you don't have to go for 10 or 20 or 30, you go between 1 and 3. Whether you have a fear of heights or bridges or whether you have chronic tension headaches. And so it does it all in the same session. It works with the subconscious mind. You see, in a battle between logic and emotion, logic doesn't win. We all know that we shouldn't drink. We know that when we stand on top of a high building and look down, we're safe, but the brain has a different idea. So working on the logical mind is really a waste of time. In a battle between logic and emotion, emotion wins all the time. You know, saying to an alcoholic, come on, have a cup of tea, they look at you like you're insane. They know that, but they can't do it. Saying to someone, I don't know why you're scared of heights, it's completely safe, doesn't work. You have to go into the emotional mind and change the emotion. So we use a form of hypnosis that works with the emotional mind. So if someone has a terror of speaking in public, saying it's okay, you can do it, it doesn't work. But going into the emotional mind and saying it thrills you, it's exciting, it's wonderful, the emotional mind is very different. The critical factor will shut down and the mind starts to hear different things. Like saying to someone who's depressed, it's okay, let's go and watch a funny film, just doesn't work. But finding out why they're depressed, how they got depressed, and knowing that depression isn't natural and that you can change it from day one, it's very important to give people hope. When they go, oh, I could feel better after one session, I could listen to this recording and feel better straight away. The answer is yes, you really can.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how that works? So if I'm someone who's going to come and see you or use that form of therapy, can you tell me what I could experience?
Yes, so let's imagine you can't stop eating. That's very common. People say, no, I can't stop eating cake. When I'm depressed, I eat a whole tub of Ben & Jerry's. I know I shouldn't. I know I should eat fruit and salad, but mac and cheese and McDonald's are calling my name. So if you came to me, what I would do straight away is go back and find out why. So when I was a kid, my grandmother always loved me through food. And when I was older, I would eat that same food when I wanted to feel love. Because the brain always goes back to what something means. You know, the brain goes backwards. It's like, oh, that smell reminds me of my gran. That song reminds me of my first boyfriend. That taste reminds me. So no one says I'm having a bad day, I need salad. Because I'm having a bad day, I need ice cream, I need cookies. Yeah. Because the brain goes back to what does that mean? And so what you do is you change the meaning. And if you change the meaning, you change everything. And it doesn't mean you can't live without sugar, but it means you think, you know, that's not really, my body doesn't want it, it's my brain that wants it. I mean, your body would never go, hey, let's eat tons of sugar. Your body doesn't like it. But the brain is always going back to these memories. So if you can change what something means, you'll change everything. So if you came to me and said, I only like bad boys. I'm very destructive in relationships. I self-sabotage at work, or I can't stop eating cookies. I would always go back to what does that mean? And I'd change the meaning, and then everything changes.
Now this makes sense why I keep watching Barbie movies whenever I'm feeling down. Like the older Barbie movies, every time I'm sad, I open the older Barbie movies and I just sit down and watch.
Sure, of course.
But is that normal to do that? So you go back to something that gave you comfort, or you need to tackle it upfront?
No, the brain is you know, it's just a pattern. The brain is really a robot and it's very patterned. It's always looking for what gives you pleasure. Yeah. And if your mother gives you ice cream every time you have a bad day, then of course when you have a bad day, the brain goes, ice cream makes everything better, which of course it doesn't. You know, when you're 4 and you fall off the swing and you get an ice cream, it's great. When you're 32 and your boyfriend dumps you, ice cream is not going to make anything better, but the brain will always go back to what something means, and the brain should really be your best friend. So if you can just change what people say, I really want this job, but I self-sabotage because the brain, if you say things like, this job is killing me, I'm stressed out of my mind, this commute is driving me crazy, then the brain will always think of what that means. One of the things I found the most fascinating is people who can't get pregnant. And if you go back, they go, yeah, when I was 16, I thought I was pregnant, and I thought, oh my God, this is a disaster, this is awful. If the brain believes having a baby is the worst thing that could happen to you, which you could say when you're 17 or 18 or 15, then 20 years later when you want to have a baby, it's going back to what that means, which is this is a disaster. I mean, when I was 17, I thought I was pregnant, thinking, oh my God, my dad will never forgive me. But of course I wasn't. I thought, oh, what a relief. Yeah. But later, when I was trying to get pregnant, my brain was acting on the old pattern. This is a terrible thing for you.
Oh my God, yeah.
And so we always have to go back and go, oh, here's a pattern. But I can change the pattern. The pattern is I eat sugar when I'm sad. When I've got a big event coming up, I seem to spend all night watching Netflix instead of preparing. Because all these things we think of, like self-sabotage and procrastination, they're nothing more than a fear of not being enough. And that fear of not being enough runs us. So we go, well, if I never write that program, it can't fail. If I never do that thing, I can't get it wrong. And so often we do the wrong thing, which is procrastinate, self-sabotage, even act out, because we're scared of being rejected. That's a huge pattern. It's the biggest pattern in humans, the fear of being rejected. Because not long ago, if you were rejected, you would die. We were tribal people. And so we're all imprinted on an old thing. If you reject me, it'll be the end of my life. And then you have to go, but it isn't. Yeah. If you reject me, I'll find someone else. I mean, all those songs go, I'll die if you leave me. I can't live without you. And they all program us to believe this thing. If I'm rejected, it will kill me. It's why the public speaking is the number one fear. But that's not the fear. The fear is if I speak in public and you don't like me.
Yeah.
What if you speak in public and everybody loves you? So you've got to go back and tell yourself the truth. Rejection won't kill me, and it could be the best thing that ever happened to me. I was asked to leave college. I got fired from a job. The first love of my life dumped me. Now I look back and think, wow, I'm so glad. At the time I didn't think so, but now I think, God, I'm so glad each of those things happened because it took me somewhere better.
True.
So we have to stop fearing rejection. It's a tribal wiring, but it's no longer relevant. You could live until you're 110. All by yourself, have everything delivered and never see a person. It wouldn't kill you. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you can just do one thing and say rejection could be the best thing ever. I get fired, I get a better job. I get dumped, I find someone better. Something doesn't work out and I find something better. But it's our wiring. Our wiring is really a caveman's wiring. I mean, here's something interesting. Years ago, hunger would kill you, and today we're still terrified. I think, oh God, I'm so hungry, I'll eat anything. Because the brain goes, oh, hunger, that could kill you. But it's not going to kill you. You could not eat for 3 days and be just fine. So all our fears, I fear rejection, I fear being hungry. When I see food, I have to eat it. I can't leave food. It's all a really primitive wiring that's designed to keep you alive. But the things designed to keep you alive causes a lot of pain in our modern world because it doesn't work anymore.
True, because your body didn't adapt to the busy modern world.
Yeah, not at all. But we can teach it to adapt by saying, I am hungry, but I really need to eat. But I'm going to wait an hour and eat better food rather than eat potato chips just because they're there. Yeah, I don't want this relationship to end, but if it does, I find someone better. Yes, I'm going to give a presentation, and I can sit and go, I'm really good, I'm calm. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. So if you can just talk to your mind just a little bit and use very positive words, you can change your entire life. Because the way you feel comes down to just two things. The pictures you make in your head and the words you say, which you can change at any time at all.
Interesting.
You said something a little bit earlier of being enough. So that is also the title of your book. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I've been a therapist my entire adult life, and I noticed very quickly that all my clients' issues stem from not being enough, whether they're a movie star, an Olympic athlete, or someone who was a school teacher. They all had the same problem, I'm not enough. And if I'm not enough, I need more food, more shopping, more praise, more followers, because when you feel not enough, you have this emptiness inside, and you need more. But when you know you are enough, it's totally different. And so because it was the common denominator of everyone's issue. 80% of us have the not enoughness. I had it for years. We all have it. But if we all have it, I wanted to create the cure. And so my book, I'm Enough, and all these bracelets, they're so old now, say I'm enough, and I have it all over my house, and I have children write it on their school. A lot of schools, each child has it on their desk now. We have it painted in the playground. We say it in assembly every morning, because the fact is, what runs us is I'm not enough. And if we can just change it to I am enough, it changes everything, because it works like this. You think a thought, and your thought creates your feeling. And your feeling creates your behavior. Imagine if you think you're not enough. You feel sad, you feel blocked, you feel angry. And then how do you behave? Well, you might act out, or you might cry. But if you say, well, I am enough, that one change makes you feel brave, confident, at ease, and you behave differently. I was working with a kid who said, I'm not enough, and I can't ask for help at school because I'm stupid, and so I'm very angry. And when we changed it, he said, but I am smart. And I asked the teacher for help because I'm a smart kid. So just changing, the words that follow I am will follow you. So if you go, I am an idiot, I'm anxious, I'm insecure, I'm not smart, just flip that to I am. I am confident, I'm self-assured, I'm at ease, I'm lovable, because the words that follow I am are going to follow you. And to change your life, just look in the mirror every day and go, I am enough. I am lovable. I am worthy. I am smart. Take your pick. If you say 3 sentences just in the morning and in the evening, that can change your entire life, because your mind's job is to make your thoughts real. That's all it ever does. If you think a sad thought, your eyes fill up with tears. Think an embarrassing thought, you go bright red. So if you start your day with I'm an idiot, I'm not confident, I'm anxious, I'm worried, then your mind's going to make that real. That's its job. And your job is to think better thoughts so your mind can make it real. I'm smart, I'm self-assured, I'm intelligent, I'm lovable. It doesn't matter what you say, but make sure the words that go after I am are going to go after you. So flip the negative to positive. I'm worried becomes I'm calm. I'm nervous becomes I'm super chilled. I'm not good enough becomes I am worthy enough and I'm lovable. If you just say I'm lovable and I'm enough every day, it will change everything.
In your book, you mentioned that there are 3 words that can change your life.
Yeah.
What are those 3 words?
I am enough.
That's it, I am enough.
Absolutely, I'm enough.
And you can add whatever to it.
Yeah, because I'm good enough, I'm worthy enough. You see, when you say it, a couple of things will happen. Some people say, when I say I'm enough, I actually feel tearful. Some people say, I feel angry. I don't believe it. Some people say, I feel silly, because isn't this just silly or woo? No, it's actually quantum physics says you're energy, I'm energy. And if you can change your energy, you can change everything. So if you can just start by saying I'm enough, and you might object and go, but I'm not really enough, I haven't got a degree, I'm not a size 0, I don't live in a great apartment. But if you keep saying it, you realise, oh, the person objecting is me. No one else is objecting.
Yeah.
Because when you say it, it changes everything. When you can just start to say I'm enough and you resonate it out, it doesn't just change you, it changes the people around you. So when you can say I'm enough, it changes everything.
You mentioned a little bit earlier working with celebrities, athletes, royals. Would you say that they also struggle with the same things that regular folks would, feeling like struggles with self-worth, anxiety, all that stuff?
Oh, very much so. We all saw Demi Moore just last month, so I was told I wasn't enough. I was told I'd be a popcorn actress, but that's the thing, somebody told her. You see, someone doesn't tell you, you tell them. When someone says you're not enough, you go, well, that's not true, I am enough. So many of us let someone else, a teacher, a sibling, an unkind person go, you're not pretty enough, you're not qualified enough, that's not available to you. And you have to go, I am enough. If you can have something called, I'll show you, that's an amazing thing. So Elizabeth Taylor was told you can be an actress but never a movie star, but she didn't let that in. So that's the thing, if someone says it, here's your choice. Let it in or say, I'm not letting that in. Many people who've made it were told you never make it. Eminem was told you'll never be a rapper. Ed Sheeran was told you'll never be a rock star. But people who bounce back have this one thing, which is, I am, I will, I can. So we have to take responsibility. Responsibility is an ability to respond. Someone might say, you're not enough, and you're not enough. You can't stop them saying it, but you can stop one thing, letting it in. I mean, I was told I'd never make it, but luckily I realized later that the most important words are not that person's, it's my ability to say, but I will, I'll show you. Most self-made people have had that, I'll show you. And it's very important to have that. So whatever people say, you can't change that, but you can change. Are you going to let that in?
So how would you help celebrities and regular folks as well to handle the pressure of social media, or maybe handle the pressure of backlash, or maybe comparison as well?
Yeah, well, we know that comparison is a thief of joy. And that's the problem. We go to school and we're streamed and we're told very early, you're not in the A stream or you're in the C stream, which is a terrible thing to do to children. And people think that fame damages people, but that's not true. Damaged people often want to be famous because there they think, well, if I'm famous, you'll love me. And many celebrities who are drawn to fame, such as Amy Winehouse, then they still have that belief. But if you listen to her songs, I told you I was trouble, you know I'm no good, you see it right there. Although she was drawn to fame because she thought she would feel more lovable, when you get that level of fame, you think, oh, everyone loves me, but I still feel the same inside, the not enoughness. I have so many famous clients who say, I don't even know why I got this Oscar. People love this voice, this body, but inside I'm still the same person. Look at somebody like Britney Spears, you can see that. Look at Michael Jackson. They had everything except the one thing you really need, which is I'm enough. It doesn't matter what body you have, how much money you have, how much fame you have. If you don't have I'm enough, you actually don't have anything. And so many people say, you know, I got this fame, but I need more. I need more awards because I still don't feel enough in here. So if you're looking out there for enoughness, you'll never find it. You've got to have it in here. And then you radiate it out and people pick it up. So famous people, wealthy people, you know, if fame and money and beauty made you happy, why do we have these beautiful models who are miserable, these wealthy people who are suicidal, these famous people who are falling apart? Because money and fame and looks are very nice, but they don't make you feel enough. You have to just sit with yourself and go, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. Write it on your mirror. Wear bracelets, write it on your pillows, write it on your cushions. Have some art that says it, and keep saying it. And don't just say it, state it, affirm it, embody it, because very quickly it stops being what you say and it becomes who you are. And if you can just work on your enoughness, you can still have fame and looks and everything else, but it's this emotional resilience that you have to do it yourself. It's not my job to make you feel enough. It's not my job to make you feel enough. It's your job. And that's actually very good news because you can do your job better than anyone else. You have to say it. You know, I never felt enough as a kid. In fact, I felt like a freak. But now I said it so much and then I didn't have to say it anymore because it sank in. It's like if I have dry skin and I put balm on it, won't it just go in? My mind doesn't go, is that organic or full of parabens?
Yeah.
It still goes in. So lotion is balm for dry skin, but words are balm for a dry soul. So if you keep saying I'm enough, it will sink in. Words go in whether they're good or bad, helpful or harmful, useful or useless. Your mind's job is to let them in, and your job is to make sure they're good enough to let in. So it's really very simple. Start by saying I'm enough over and over. Write it on your lunchbox. Put it on your phone alerts. Imagine if you made that your password, very securely, of course.
Yeah.
And you had to type it out to open your phone or your computer. That one thing would change your life because you've got to type it out every day. You've got to say it to open something. And it's all around your house. And if you're a parent, you're not just doing it for you. Your kids are going, I'm enough. I'm enough. Every school I've put the I'm enough of into says, you know what, bullying has disappeared in this school. In fact, the bullies are affected so much that they stop being bullies. One Spanish school said we had all the bullied kids say it, and they all cried and said, I don't know why I'm crying here, but they all stopped bullying, because bullying is this, I'm not enough.
Yeah.
So I want to diminish you. If I don't feel enough, I've got two choices. Diminish you or embellish myself. But if I know I'm enough, I don't need to do either of those two things.
True. There's a saying that as a therapist, if you just let us know if you believe in it or not. You cannot help a person does not want to be helped.
Yeah, I've never believed that. I hear a lot of therapists say, you can't change anybody.
Yeah.
You can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. People come in and go, I don't know what's wrong with me. I want help, but I just can't change it. The leopard can't change his spots. That's nonsense. Well, a leopard can't, but we can. Humans are wired for phenomenal change. So when people say you can't change or doesn't want to change, people who don't want to change have a fear. What lies beneath is I do want to change, but it's too hard. It's too difficult.
Yeah.
If you said, hey, I could change you today like that. I could help you not want to ever smoke again. I could stop you screaming at your kids. I could stop you being self-destructive. And someone would go, yeah, I don't want to change. They go, but I have these beliefs, it's so hard. A belief is nothing more than a thought you think a lot. Imagine that, hey, I can change you today. And go, okay, then I'll try it. I'll take it. Go on. So it isn't true that you can't help people who are resistant to change. What's true is people who are resistant to change are scared. After all, we're all scared of change in case it's change what if I let this person love me and they dump me? What if I get this job and they fire me what if I have this kid and I turn out an awful parent like my parent? So the truth is we are scared of change in case we're worse off. But here's another truth. When you can control the direction of change in your life and make it change for the better, you no longer fear change. Change is always going to happen, but you can go, okay, there's change. I can control it. I can go, I'm going to have love and make it last. I'm going to have the body that I've always wanted. I'm going to get that career of my dreams. Instead of fearing it, you think, I'm the one who can control it. I mean, it might go wrong, but you're no worse off than if you never had it in the first place.
True. 100%. Was there ever a moment in your therapy career where someone's transformation really moved you and stayed with you? Was there ever that moment and that someone?
Oh, I would say over and over again. I remember years ago working with a really angry kid of 17 who was just being expelled from school, and he came to see me. And he was so angry, he said, if you get this wrong, I'm going to sue you and take your house off you, which is an interesting thing for a kid to say.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, you're a hurt kid. Because behind anger is hurt. You're a hurt kid. He said, nobody loves me. I have my parents, I live with my grandparents, and no one loves me. And I'm nothing, and no one cares about me. And I said, well, that's not really true. Because by the end of this session, you're going to care about you, I care about you, and your aunt who paid for the session must care about you. So you've got 3 people. So this angry kid who was predicted to probably end up in jail is now a very famous chef. Because I did one thing, I said, I know your dad is an idiot, and I'd love you to have a great dad, but you don't. But if you had a great dad, what would a great... Of course he went, I don't know, whatever. I said, no, but you do know. What would a great dad say? And he thought of it, he said, well, he would say, I'm proud of you. You're a great kid. Any dad would love to have a son. I said, that's it. So I began to make him say it. I'm a great kid. Any dad would be proud of me. I'm the kind of son any man would love to have. And he said it over and over again. And it changed him from the inside out because he began to see I wasn't gifted a grown-up dad. And it was my dad's job to tell me this stuff. And he didn't do his job, but I can do his job. I can say all the stuff a kid needs to hear. I'm smart. And we began to say things like, girls think you're really cool. Boys like, you're intelligent. He always loved to cook, and now he's a famous chef, he's married, and his life is entirely different because of one thing. He came in what they call the missing bit, the emptiness inside. The emptiness inside is always from the unmet needs of a kid, and he was never told anything like, I love you, you're amazing. But here's the thing. Although it's our parents' job to do that, and often they don't, the minute you get into your 20s, it's not their job, it's your job to start to say, I matter. I'm significant, I'm lovable, I've got something amazing to offer the world. We should all have parents who tell us that, but they don't. But here's the thing, it's never too late, ever, even if you're in your 50s, to start saying the magic words, I matter, I'm significant, I'm lovable, I've got something to offer the world. You see, that thing changed. I couldn't give that kid a great dad. I couldn't give him anything except the one thing that he needed, which was to hear the words. And if you start to say, what would a great boss say? You're amazing. Today, many of us work for ourselves. There's something called a praise muscle. If no one says, hey, you're doing a great job, you're amazing, that muscle's going to wither away. So if you work for yourself, you better learn to say, today I was incredible. Today the words coming out of my mouth. Today I handled that client so well. I did something amazing, because there is nothing like praise to grow your emotional resilience. And we're very busy going, well, it's your job to praise me. Actually, it isn't. It's my job.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a boss praising you, a parent praising you, just take a minute and think, what would a person who praised me say? And what do I need to hear? What's the missing bit? And start to say it. I'm amazing at my job. I'm a great parent. I'm a wonderful person. I'm funny. I'm kind. I'm interesting. I'm smart. Because we're so busy giving that job away. And if you give the job away, you're always needy. If you do it, you have emotional resilience. So for that kid, I could only give him one thing. Emotional resilience. But that's all he needed, emotional resilience. We're so busy giving our kids organic food and Mandarin lessons, but they don't need that. They need emotional resilience. They need to believe in themselves. They need to feel they matter. And we need that as an adult too. Those needs never go away, those unmet needs, which are very simple. We need to feel safe, loved, and significant. And that's all a child needs, safe, loved, significant. But as an adult, we still need to feel safe and loved and significant. Our whole life we need to feel safe, loved, significant. But the minute you're older, it's no one else's job. And the great thing is that you can do it better than anyone else. You can think, okay, what do I need? What are the words? What are the thoughts? Am I looking out there for it? Can I go, I can do it. I can say it until it isn't what I do, it's who I am. Because when you elevate your sense of self-worth, the whole world joins you at that higher level. When you diminish it, they join you at the diminished level. So it's a great job, and it's an easy job. Just say it, state it, affirm it, embody it, until it isn't what you do. It's who you are. Then you're winning at life.
So, Marisa, what advice would you give people that shy away from therapy or want to go to therapy but are scared to do so?
Well, we have this belief therapy is long, it's expensive. I haven't got an hour every Wednesday to drive to my therapist office and talk about my pain. And actually, there's something called HEBS that says if you go to therapy every week, it actually starts to get worse. I'm not saying that, HEBS is saying it. So if you can't afford therapy, if you go to marisappear.com, we have so many free audios. We have audios on money blocks, love blocks, success. They're all free. So, and we live in a world of YouTube, where there's so many free resources. If you want therapy, go onto YouTube. You don't have to go to my thing, but it's actually very good. Go to marisappear.com. We give you stuff. We give you videos and audios to listen to. Read that book, I'm Enough. That book can change your entire life. And follow other people too, not just me, who they're giving you advice. All therapy at its core is one thing. What's wrong with you? You don't feel good enough. That's really it. You may have a presenter saying, hey, I can't stop eating cake, I can't stop buying stuff, I can't stop acting out, but that's the presenting room. The real problem is always this: I don't feel good enough or worthy enough. So fix that at its core by reading some books, listening to some audios, and saying to yourself, I am enough, and I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of success, I'm worthy of joy. You won't really need therapy. Of course, there are deep issues like depression, bipolar, alcoholism, which may require therapy. Bulimia, anorexia require therapy, but not long therapy. But if it's something more straightforward, like I just don't feel worthy, then there are so many audios and books to help you, not just mine. There are many therapists like me who want to give you free resources. They're on YouTube giving talks. They're on Instagram giving little pep talks, and they have audios that are free. But marisappear.com has so many audios, so many videos. They're all free. So you can do a lot of therapy on yourself by understanding your root fear is not enoughness. And guess what? You can fix that. It's not even hard. It's what I call, people say, it's so hard. No, it's not. It's unfamiliar. The weirdest thing about therapy for therapists is that the brain wants to go back to what is familiar. So if you've never had love and someone goes, oh my God, you're gorgeous, you go, who, me? Oh no, I'm really not, it's just the makeup. Someone who's never had praise, you go, hey, I love your book. They go, it's terrible. Didn't you see all the spelling mistakes? No, I thought it was great. So our brain is hardwired and super coded to go back to what it knows. And if that's being rejected, being criticised, then that's a bit of a challenge. But here's another fact. You can make anything. After all, if I put some silicone on my finger and shove it in my eye, that's the weirdest thing. But if I do it every day, it becomes... I can do it without a mirror. You know, doing the plank is not familiar unless I do it every day. Doing push-ups, doing lunges, that's not familiar. But if you do it every day, it is. So here's the thing. Your brain is going to go back to what's familiar. That's its job. And your job is to make good stuff familiar. Simple stuff. Accept praise. Praise yourself. Drink water. Go to the gym. Step outside your comfort. Keep saying, I'm worth it. Because after a while, it will become familiar. So you can make anything familiar. Your choice is make good stuff familiar. Accepting praise is great. It's very simple. And while you're making that familiar, make rejecting praise unfamiliar. If what's familiar is having 6 sugars in your coffee and you take them, of course it tastes weird, but after a month you think, I can't believe I drank it like that. It's disgusting. You know, I used to live on Diet Coke when I was in my... Now I can't even imagine I drank that stuff. It's so disgusting, but I loved it. So we could, if the brain likes what's familiar, which it absolutely does, because that's what kept us safe as cave people. You know, a 2-year-old, I don't want that. What they're saying is really, I've never seen that before, it's not familiar, it might poison me. So we see the terrible twos, but it's our brain wants to keep us alive by rejecting what is unfamiliar. Because years ago, if you left the tribe, you could die. And so we're still wired like that, but we have to say, you know, if my brain likes what's familiar, which is a fact, I can make good stuff familiar, that's another fact. And while you're making good stuff familiar, I can go for that promotion. I can ask that person out. I can stop eating cake and say, I actually prefer blueberries. I'm actually a salad person, not a fries person. So while you're making good stuff familiar, you're also making bad stuff unfamiliar. So if the brain likes what's familiar, make stuff familiar until it becomes easy. You know, when I first did Pilates, I find it so bizarre. You got to do all this breathing and movements, but now I can do it. You know, it's like learning to drive a car is unfamiliar. If you switch from a laptop to a desktop, you can't really get used to that big mouse thing. But you can make anything familiar. And just choose to make better stuff familiar. Wake up in the morning and say, I'm enough before we get out of bed. Write it on your mirror. Say it as you finish cleaning your teeth or combing your hair. Because we make our habits. And then our habits turn right around and make us. And just make a better habit. 47% of what we do is habit. So if you start to say, I'm enough, you're making it 47% of you anyway. And that's a great thing.
Marisa, thank you so much for the insightful thoughts this morning, and thank you so much for joining us. It was really nice having you on the show.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Farah.
Thank you.
And this brings us to the end of the Lovin Dubai show. We go live every weekday at 8:30 a.m. So see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.